Hey y'all.
When- All right, so we just wait for her to join. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. There you go. All right, here she come. Hold on, let me accept her. I accepted, friend. I don't know what's going on. Let me try again. Ah, there you go. All right. We live. We live.
What's up, y'all?
All right.
Let's see.
All right. So we gonna let Dr. Chris get us started today.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to yet another episode of It's Safe Speak Truth. My name is Dr. Chris. And tonight we want to talk about this journey. I mean, we know that the healing journey is different. And last time we talked about the journey is going to be different for everyone. Like my experience is not going to be the same as Kai's and vice versa. And how careful we have to be when, we compare. Comparison is the thief of joy. We have to be very careful about looking at other people and what they're doing and how they're recovering and how they're processing and not allowing that to make us feel less than or like we're behind or struggling. And so today we have another topic, and I'm going to send it over to Kai and allow her to introduce the topic. Kai?
Hey y'all, hey, I'm Kai the Hood Therapist. Um, so today we're gonna talk about growing and healing, but not giving yourself credit for the changes, for the progress, for your accomplishments. Um, sometimes we may just be so, let me see for myself, growing up. I would, do things, as a kid, you do things around the house. So you just do good in school and stuff like that. And you look for, your parent or like your family, your older family members to give you credit. You know what I'm saying? To be like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. Oh my God, you did such a good job. Oh my God, yes. I didn't get that growing up. That's what you were supposed to do. I'm not telling you you did a good job because that's what you're supposed to do. So hearing that my whole life, you know, I just kind of would do things and accomplish certain things, and it just really wouldn't be a big deal to me. And then I was talk to other people, and then they would be like, "Oh my God, like the girl, I can that's huge. Like that's I can't believe you did that. I can't believe like you can't you've overcome those things in your life." And me being me and hearing that growing up, it was just like, well, I just did what I was supposed to do. So now I'm like at a point in my life where I give myself credit. Like I'm not looking for validation from other people. So I'm going to give myself credit. I'm going to hype myself up and I'm going to be like, you know what? You did a good job. Like I'm proud of you. Yes, I'm going to make that post on social media and give myself credit for things that I've accomplished because growing up I didn't have that. I didn't have good job. I didn't have, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. I didn't get that. I got the little side eyes because, those people that I was around projected onto me because they didn't, have the tenacity, the strength to keep going. They gave up on themselves. So of course, if you're not happy with your accomplishments, you can't give somebody else a compliment. You can't do it because you haven't pushed yourself. And especially if somebody is making you think about the things that you haven't accomplished because you gave up on yourself, they can't be happy for you. So that's something that I had to learn, like, yeah, give yourself credit when credit is due. Like, clap for yourself, be proud of yourself, even if it's those small private accomplishments, that nobody don't know about. Still be proud of yourself. Still clap for yourself. Like, you don't have to, tell the whole world your every move and everything that you have going on. Because it's a lot of stuff that I've been doing behind the scenes that social media don't know and probably will never know. But guess what? Just know that I'm proud of myself and I've been making some moves and I am happy about it. And I'm giving myself credits because I deserve it. So but I'm still not looking for anything outside of myself. It's cool, to get that from other people, but I don't really look for it because I never received it growing up, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Chris to see if she have anything similar to say about not receiving credit, about certain accomplishments and things. Dr. Chris?
Oh, yes, ma'am. When you were talking about not receiving that validation from, someone you believe is your caregiver and truly loves you and values you and wants to see you succeed, I have been through that experience. I remember, we talk a lot about childhood trauma. And I was telling my best friend and even Kai earlier today that there are gaps in my memory when it comes to my childhood. And I've been told something traumatic happened that I blocked out during those years. And, I think about it and I'm like, maybe so, because I don't remember the events, but I remember the feeling. I felt trapped. I felt like I couldn't wait to grow up. I can't wait to get older so I can take care of myself. I can handle whatever I need to handle. I don't have to ask her for anything. I don't have to depend on anybody. Like, I could just knock it out myself. And realizing or recognizing I had those feelings as a child, now as a young woman, I see behaviors that I wished or said that I would do when I was a little girl. Like, I ain't gonna depend on nobody for nothing. Here I am, the independent woman, because I'm so afraid of people doing things for me and throwing it in my face later or using that as an excuse to treat me anything less than what I feel I deserve to be treated. I find it hard to accept assistance. Um, my pride is really strong, and I realize that's something that comes from my trauma. And so me constantly, looking back and reflecting, because like we always say, sometimes when we look back on our childhood, on ourselves, or even last year, we see things that we shifted from or that we've addressed or that we're currently healing from and are trying to be better with or about. I realize that a lot of the things that make me are a result of trauma, and it helps me see things a little differently from a different perspective. Um, the thing that you said about never hearing, "Good job, baby, I'm proud of you." I remember hearing that, but I felt like I had to work so hard for it. Like, I've always been a studious young woman, a young girl. Like, I loved school, but I also remember that being my escape. I knew that in my current, in those days growing up, I knew I was going to get away. My goal was always to get away, get out, up, under, my caregiver or my parent because of what I was feeling. I felt trapped. I felt undermined. I felt like I was always under a microscope. Any little thing that I did, said, was up for, criticism, or, I would get punished or whipped or yelled at. And it's just like, I don't want to go through this. I'm gonna do well in school so that I can get a scholarship and get out, so I can go to college, so I can move away and be away from it. And that's what I did. I realized a lot of the things that I have accomplished in my career, in my life, I said that I would do, but I was in a traumatic mindset. So now that I'm trying to shift out of it, it's like I have no idea what to do. Like, am I operating out of my traumatic self or my healed self? And if I'm trying to shift to my healed self, what do I do next? And I know a lot of people are there. You don't want to operate from a place of pain, or you don't want to constantly talk about what it is that you've endured or been through, or what you're feeling. If it's negative feelings, you want to live, you want to thrive, you want to be good, but you don't know where to start. That is what we're talking about on here. Like, changing the narrative, breaking the generational curses, things that our family members may or may not be equipped to even fathom or understand why you would want to embark on that journey. It's different for everybody. But if you can pinpoint where your motivation is coming from, or where you are, and where you're trying to go, it will definitely help you focus, I guess. It's kind of hard for me to explain. I'm hoping I'm making sense, but I realize that a lot of my behaviors, mindsets, motivations, things of that nature came from trauma in my childhood. And until we truly dive deeper into that and figure out, how we can overcome it, I think it will keep a lot of us in confinement. It will keep a lot of us in fear of the unknown, in fear of what this journey entails. Back to you. That's all I have, friend.
So, I was just thinking, I had a conversation with my friend, probably like last week, a few days ago. And so, she was talking about, some things that happened, in her past, like around the time when we first met, probably like about 8 years ago. And so I remember telling her, I said, well, I said you were planted, because all seeds have to get planted in darkness, right? And then from that darkness, it grows. So the whole time that seed is being planted, and when it starts to sprout and the roots, start to grow into the soil, it's fighting to grow. It's fighting to come to the top. It's fighting to reach the light. And, the plant, the seed that was planted, it's not looking for, like validation or anything, or for anything. It's just doing what it does, and that's grow. Right. And it's just when it comes out, it's just so beautiful. It's just like, oh my God. But you don't even know what it had to go through underneath the surface. Right. So I kind of look at, the healing journey like that, like we've all been planted, right? And we all are going through different journeys to come to the light. Sometimes you might plant a seed and it may never sprout. So you don't give up, you just plant another one. And then you may plant a seed and then it may sprout, but then it dies. And then you're like, well, damn. You don't give up, you just go ahead and plant another one. And then you look to see what you can do differently. Is it the soil that's the problem? Am I watering it enough? Am I watering it too much? What do I need to do to help this seed grow? What do I need to do to help it stay alive? Is it getting too much sunlight? Is it not getting enough? Is it not getting enough sunlight? Because you have some plants, they'll burn in the sun. So you have to know yourself, and you have to Sometimes adjust your environment so that you can grow the way that you're supposed to grow. I don't know if that makes sense. And I don't know why that just came to me, but that just came to me. So, and back to our topic, um, I remember the only time my parent would like show me any type of affection is if I did something for her. That was the only time it was like, oh my God, I love you. It was conditional, right? It was very conditional. So now that I'm grown, I had to realize that my success, it was kind of like a slap in the face to my parent, right? Because it was things that I've done that she couldn't have done. And then, becoming a parent at 25, you still young, and now you have to dedicate your life to this whole human that you just created. And I think that sometimes, parents resent having their kids. They resent, and they take it out on the child. And they feel like, because I had you, I wasn't able to do this, this, and this. I wasn't able to live the life that I wanted to live. So now that that child is being successful and doing the things that they couldn't do, they don't know how to accept that. They don't know how to give you praise for it, because I had to look at my parent, not as my parent, but as a woman, right? And I'm not saying none of this to bash nobody or throw nobody under the bus or nothing like that. This is simply my story. This is simply what I've seen growing up. I'm not lying on anybody. It's the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts. And sometimes people don't like the truth to be told. But I don't care. So you just have to keep going, regardless of who got your back, regardless of who giving you praises. Oh my God, telling you congratulations. You have to keep going. But for me, it just made me be real hard on myself, because I'll do some things and I won't stop to take a break, to take a breather sometimes. And he'll be like, well, you just did this and you trying to do something else. Yes, because it's not enough. I never feel like what I do is good enough. I don't care how many jobs I have. I don't care what I got going on. I just never feel like it's enough. I never feel like it's enough. And that's not good. That's trauma. So I'm trying to step back. I'm trying to make myself slow down and just be like, listen, look at the small accomplishments, look at your small wins, because all of those small wins, it equals up to a big win. Anytime you see some change on the floor, on the ground, every quarter you pick up, every time you see a penny and you pick it up and you save it, and then let's say you done picked up a year's worth of change and you go to count your change and you done saved up damn near $200. All of those little coins along the way, it made up something bigger. So to anybody out there, be proud of yourself. It don't matter what it is that you're doing. You got up this morning, be proud of yourself. You went clocked into work, be proud of yourself. You was able to, you paid your rent, you paid your bills. So be proud of yourself. Be happy about that. No, you probably don't have the extra to go out. You probably don't have the extra to, travel, to splurge, get your nails done, your hair done, go out on trips, vacations. You probably don't have that right now. But guess what? Your bills paid, you're taken care of, your children fed, your children are clothed. Be proud of yourself. It's a take it day by day, one day at a time. But please don't take your frustrations out on your kids, because they did not ask to be here. Please don't do that. Please, please, please don't do that. It's not their fault. Take a breather, take a break, but don't make your kids feel like they're a burden because of your decisions that you made as an adult. Don't make your children feel like a burden. Let's see, those some real words. No one will be happy for what you do, but will gossip about the shit you do. Definitely, they will, because they miserable. And misery loves company. And they gonna gossip about other people so that the focus not on them. Oh, I'm about to call you and tell you what such and such did. Whole time they doing worse than the person that they talking about. I changed my number. People will call me and talk about other people, but I'm like, the whole time I'm like, how can you even talk about this person when look at your situation? 10 times worse than this other person. I don't want to hear that. If you're not talking about growing, if you're not talking about elevating, if you're not trying to better yourself, I don't want to be a part of the conversation. I don't want to sit at your table. I got my own table, chairs, and everything. My table fully set up, dishes, silverware, teacups, wine glasses, all that shit is ready for all four courses. I don't care. I don't. That's misery loves company, and I ain't miserable, and I don't need no company at all. If we're not talking about growing and elevating business plans, you know, what we doing in the next 5 years, where we trying to go, I don't want no parts of it. I don't want no parts of it at all. Dr. Chris, you got anything?
Oh, that last part was really good. You know, a lot of times we're so used to routine that we fear change. I could speak for myself. For a very long time, I remained connected to people that I knew were no good for me because of how long we were connected. Even though I knew every time they called my line, it was about some drama, it was toxic, it was gossiping, it was, talking about this person, that person, who they gonna be with. Like, all of that, I don't want to hear that, and for a very long time I felt guilty for not wanting to associate myself with those type of people anymore because of, oh, we grew up together. Oh, this person accomplished, we did these things together. They were with me through the journey before I became aware, self-aware of, my triggers and my traumas, and before I wanted to, change my behaviors and my mindset, and really put in the work to heal. But they were there. Why would I disconnect from them? They know me. But I had to realize they know the old me, not the healed me. And those are two completely different people. And if they're not willing to do the work to also become healed, then why would I remain connected? We allow our guilt, or the fact that we're growing, to make us question, like, disconnecting from people when we know it's the right move. That's something I had to learn recently. Like, even when it comes to family, we had a couple of episodes where we talked about the main people that you think love you or are down for you really can't stand you. They really don't rock with you like you think they do. And that could be heartbreaking, especially when you're starting to heal yourself and you're starting to address your traumas and all of these different things. You start to see things for what they truly are, and who people truly are, and it could break your heart. But we have to be willing to make the changes. And it's not just internally, it's not just mentally, it's not just spiritually and emotionally, it's vibrationally as well. If we're not on the same frequency, we're not on the same wave, we're not on the same, you know what I'm saying, then why are we connected? And then if you know that you're not on the same page, you have to be blatant and intentional in the disconnections that you initiate and stand on them. And sometimes that could be hard. It could be really difficult and challenging to disconnect and remain disconnected because you know you made the right decision for you. Another thing that I realized is this thing hard, right? It's really challenging to just dive deeper in yourself, and sometimes we just don't want to do that. We had an episode where we talked about numbing agents. That's something I definitely reflect on a lot. You know, past connections, they tried to come back around, and look out for that, because there will be some people from your past who know the past you, the earlier versions or unhealed versions of you that try to come back and be like, oh, I've changed, I've done this, I've done that, I've done the work, I've addressed this, I've healed from this, and all the while they're still the same. But they will constantly bring up what you used to do, who you used to be, and you're like, dang, every time I talk to you, you talk about the past of what I used to do, what I used to be. But you don't know me. And I feel like you're not even trying to get to know the new me. And once you realize that, you got to cut it. Like, there's no, well, let me wait and see. For what? You can see it, you can feel the type of time they're on. So why remain connected? I think disconnections and distancing yourself and releasing people, places, things that you know no longer align with the new you is the necessary part of growth. It might be hurtful, might be a bit disappointing, even a little scary because it's new territory. But at the end of the day, you're making room for the people, places, things that are supposed to be or trying to come into your life. If you're constantly holding on to past people, places, things, experiences, even trauma, you're holding on to it so tightly that you're unable to receive anything else. You have to have your hands open. You have to be, you have to have your heart open. You have to have your mind in a receiving state to be like, okay, I feel, yes, I've outgrown, I've released the past, I've released, people, places, things that I know no longer align with the new self, the new me that I'm now entering into, the new season that I'm trying to enter into. I'm willing, I'm open, I'm receptive to what's ahead. Not everybody is ready for that. I get it. But we can't keep making excuses. We can't keep repeating the same patterns. We can't keep feeling sorry for ourselves or being victims. Like, I just feel like at a certain point in the journey, you have to, okay, accept, yes, this happened to me. Yes, this was my response. Yes, it was toxic or not. Yes, there are some things that I need to deal with and accept and release, and then move forward. And it took me a while to get to that point. But now that I'm here, I'm unapologetic. And that's new for me. Like, I used to feel guilty, like, damn, I can't believe I had to, that was my favorite person. That was my favorite thing to do. That was my favorite place to go. But I want to heal. I want to grow. And if you ain't on that, then you got to go. No matter how much I might love you, care about you, respect you, all of that, you can't stay. And that's okay. Ain't no beef. I wish you the best, love, light. I support you. I'm sending you good, positive energy. But we're just not on the same page. It takes strength to admit that. And a lot of times we avoid that work. But once you see it, like I said before, once you see it, you can't unsee it. So I think I went on a tangent, but that's what I had on my mind. Okay.
So, I had this thought from when I used to work at McDonald's. So I remember I was working at McDonald's, and I was in cosmetology school at the same time. And I remember, people being petty on Facebook or whatever, making statuses about, people working at McDonald's or people working at fast food, or you too old to be working here and all this and that, whatever, whatever. If I wasn't the person that I am, that could have broke me. But me knowing that, bitch, fuck you, because I live in a whole homeless shelter. Bitch, I got a motherfucking job. Bitch, I'm putting myself through motherfucking school. Bitch, I motherfucking get up at fucking 5 o'clock every morning and catch all these streetcars and buses to go to school and then to go back to work and then go back to the homeless shelter that I stay at. So the whole time while they making fun of my career or where I'm working at, and the whole time I'm doing the best that I can. And that's why you always have to make sure that you clap for yourself, because nobody don't know what you're doing and what your plan is. I remember after I graduated from high school, I mean, not high school, hair school, I had left McDonald's. And then a few years later, I went back. But I was working at McDonald's as a manager. I was working at a salon. And I was traveling as a stylist, as a traveling stylist. People had their little comments on Facebook about people working at McDonald's again. I could have let that break me again, even though it never did. But it's just like, that's why you always make sure that you clap for yourself. Always make sure that you tune everybody out. You got to tune them people out, because they don't know your story. They don't know what you've been through. They don't know what you're going through. They don't know the plan that you have for yourself. So just keep going. Keep going and never give up. I don't care where you were. Baby, I could have been a whole bum. I could have gave up. I could have stayed in that shelter and I could have just fucking gave up on myself. I literally could have been living on a motherfucking street, sleeping on a motherfucking streets. And the reason why I don't care, and I've never cared about what people had to say, and the fact of, yeah, I was working at fast food in my 20s, early 20s, mid 20s. Yes, the fuck I was. But I bet you bitches wasn't right there with me when I was eating out of a garbage can either. So don't ever, ever let what nobody have to say stop you from doing what you have to do to get to where you have to go, because you know your life, you know your story, you know what you want to accomplish. So you got to keep going, and you keep being proud of yourself. Keep clapping for yourself even when it get hard. You got to keep going, because the only way you ain't gonna win is if you quit. That's the only way you ain't gonna win. I don't care how many times you got to start over. I don't care what other people got going on. That's not my life. That's not my story. That's not my situation. So something else, extending, a little grace to people. Be kind. 'Cause you don't know what people be going through. You don't know what they be going through. All the stuff that I just said that I went through, if you wasn't in my immediate circle, you wouldn't even knew that that's what I was going through. You would have never knew. Ever. So you got to do it for you. You can't do it for nobody else. You got to do it for you. You got to do it for yourself. Because I don't have kids. Some people are like, oh, my kids, my motivation. And that is awesome. I wish, kids was the motivation for my family. But the kids clearly wasn't the motivation. And it wasn't their own motivation either. But I know I had to be my own motivation. And I still got to be my own motivation to this day. Because I know the type of life that I want to live. And I know that I have to create it. And I know that I had to accept myself as my own savior. Because I'm sorry. I know that nobody is going to come from the sky and fucking be like, oh my God, This is, I'm just going to change everything about you. You have to do it. Yes, you're going to get that spiritual help from your spirit guides or whatever guide you believe in. Yes. But those spirits, those entities, those deities, they cannot do the work for you. You have to do the work for yourself. Because if you don't do it, who will? Parents will tell their kids all the time, well, yeah, I would have bought you that, but you ain't even trying. So why would I even get this for you and you're not even taking care of what you already have? So why would your God step in and move mountains for you and you ain't even using what you got? You ain't even using the tools that you have right in front of you. You got to put in the work. It's not going to be easy. It's not gonna be easy. You gotta put in that fucking work. It's how bad do you want it? And if you don't want it bad enough, you ain't gonna get it. And that's just that. But you definitely gotta keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Whatever your motivation is, think about that every time you feel like giving up. Whatever your motivation is, whomever your motivation is. Keep thinking about that. Be proud of yourself for those small accomplishments. Be proud. Be like I said before. Just be happy that you have everything, all your necessities. Give your credit for getting up. Give yourself credit for getting up. Give yourself credit for trying. So I feel like it was my turn to go on a little tangent. Oh God. All right, it's your turn, girl. Look how back to you. Back to you.
Thank you, Kai, for sending it to me. So, in addition to that, I feel like remaining grateful. Sometimes we find ourselves, frustrated or overwhelmed with everything that we have on our plates, and we can complain, or we can, well, I would have had this if I would have did this, like, being really hard, like I say, being hard on ourselves, or not really, being happy for what we do have or what we have accomplished or where we are. When we look back, dang, I remember this same time last year I was in a really tough place, a really tough place space. But now, I feel pretty good. That's something to celebrate. And based on what we've experienced or what we've been through and overcome, we undermine that. We don't feel like I said, that ain't nothing major. Like, okay, I did that. Okay, cool. Like, we don't really clap for ourselves. And I feel like that's something that we should change. You know? Like, be grateful, be happy for the things that you do have, and maybe you would have more, you would be in a higher position, or you would have more financial stability or more money, or what I'm saying. But right now you don't, but you're working towards that. you know that's cool. I think we try to measure up to standards, and we don't even know whose standards they are. Like, why do we feel we need to be we need to be here by 30? Who told us that? Where do we get those standards from? Me and Kai talk about this a lot. Me and my best friend, we talk about this a lot too. Like, why are we pressed, or why what we in a rush for? Like, yes, time is going, is flying, and things are happening or whatever, but don't we know who our God is? So if we know who our God is, and we know we're connected to the divine and the most high, and we know that we're covered, and we know, if we take a leap, we're covered, we gonna get caught, and we don't have to worry about nothing, and we're protected, we're divinely protected, we're divinely led, we're divine. If we know all of these things, why would we not be grateful? Why would we not take the leap if, what I'm saying, we know we're good either way? That's something that I recently have learned and am still learning. I know I'm good, so why I'm tripping? I'm in a much better position than I was this time last year on every level. I'm happy about that. clap it up for me. And sometimes it's really hard to do that because you're looking at everything as a whole rather than where you are right now, and that could really be an overwhelming perspective to have and maintain. If you would break it down piece by piece, day by day, week by week, and just reflect on, man, last week was real rough, but this week it's gonna be better. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna be stronger. I'm gonna be wiser. I'm gonna make, different moves than I made last week. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good week. It's gonna be a good month. Have that type of energy and see, won't it be a good day, good month, good week, whatever. And celebrate the little and small wins, big wins, medium wins. You know what I'm saying? Like, it all deserves acknowledgement from you and celebration by you. Whether you receive, validation or acknowledgement from other people, okay, that's not relevant at this point. Like, it's you with you. Like, as long as you know you're good and you've tried your hardest and you're in a better mind space, or you're doing your absolute best and you're putting your best feet forward, your best foot forward, and you're constantly on the move, you're continuing on the journey, then that deserves celebration by you and acceptance by you. And that's enough. A lot of times we also feel like we're not enough. We're not doing enough. Like I said, it's not enough. I never get enough. I'm not in a place where I feel I should be. I should be doing more. With that, you're not really caring for you. And that's something we all have to learn. I'm still learning that, you know? Where I am right now is where I'm supposed to be. And where I'm trying to go is over there. I have to get to it. Trials, tribulations, circumstances, disappointments, all of those things are going to come. But am I going to allow myself to sit in the same space, stagnant, and not get to where I said I was going to get? I'm not allowing that. I can't. So that's what I had. Kai, back to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I thought so when Dr. Chris was just talking about breaking stuff down into pieces, right? I just had like this vision come in my head. It was so weird. So when she mentioned that, I had like this vision of a person putting together a puzzle, right? So you have a puzzle that has 1,000 pieces. And before you even, open a box and empty out the pieces, you have the box and it shows you the picture. So you see the full picture before you even open a box. You see the full picture before you even start putting those pieces of the puzzle together, right? So you see the picture, you see it's a beautiful picture. Like, oh my God, this is going to be so pretty once I put it together. I'm so excited to do it. And then you open a box, you dump out all the puzzle pieces, and you see all these little bitty ass pieces, and you're like, all right, so all I gotta do is just sort it out and then put it together. No big deal. But then once you really sit down, you start going through each of those pieces, and you like 6 hours in, and you still ain't putting nothing together. And now you getting overwhelmed, and it's just like, well, damn, I know the picture's gonna be nice. I see what it's gonna look like, but you gotta do the work. You have to sit there and strategically put the pieces of the puzzle together. And sometimes you're going to have a piece and you may think that it match with that other piece, but it's not a match. It don't fit. So then you have to find the right piece. So then you have to get organized, right? Instead of you just trying to take anything and just putting it together. The first thing I learned, when you put together a puzzle, you start with the outside first. You get all of your perimeter first, because all of those are going to have straight edges. So at least you know, okay, I know that this is the perimeter, so let me find all of the pieces that have straight edges. and let me start putting those together in one pile. So then once you do that, you start to piece together that piece of the puzzle. And now you have the border. And now you can start going through the rest of those pieces and start to match what goes next. But it's going to take time. But you already had the vision. You already know what it's going to look like. Now you just got to put in the work. And guess what? Once you get that border together, you should be happy. Be like, oh shit, that was 1,000 pieces. I didn't put all of this together. Yeah, it probably took me like 2 weeks just to get the outside done. But I did it. I did it. I got something accomplished. Now I have to take my time and sort through the rest of these pieces. And then we're going to put it together. And it's going to take time. Sometimes it might take somebody a month to put a puzzle together, especially with them little bitty ass pieces. You trying to put together a puzzle with 1,000 pieces? That should take a lot of work. That shit takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time. And it may take more time than what you think it's going to take. And that's our lives. The things that we want to do, we see the picture, we see the vision. But now you just have to execute. Now you have to take all of those pieces together and you have to put them together. So that's just like, let's say that you have a business plan, right? And you know what you want to do. You've done everything. You've done your LLC. You have your EIN. You have your e-commerce set up. You have your inventory. You know everything that you need to get. So you have all of these different pieces of your puzzle, but they still not together because you're missing some things in between that's going to merge and to complete your picture. So don't give up whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's school, whatever it is, you have to just keep going because everything that you go through is a different piece to your puzzle. And you may have to set those pieces to the side, but you gonna need them later on. Those pieces are going to complete your picture. It's going to complete the picture. And you may not do it in the order that you think you was gonna do it in. Because Lord knows, I thought I had everything planned out because I'm gonna do this first, I'm gonna do that first, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and then this gonna happen. Child, that's not how that went. That's not how that went at all. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just shut up. I'm gonna just stop announcing stuff because clearly every time when I think that, I got it all figured out, something else happens. So I'm gonna just shut up. I see I still got some missing pieces to my own puzzle. So I'm gonna just shut up. I'm gonna just start collecting my puzzle pieces. And I ain't gonna announce nothing until my puzzle, my pieces, my picture is complete. Because it's a lot of work. Still a lot of things that I have to do, but I'm doing it. And that's all that matters. So yeah, y'all just keep going. Don't give up because you don't have all the pieces to your puzzle figured out just yet. You're still working on it. Don't give up. It's gonna take time, and be happy. Because I know I'd be happy with some things with my little accomplishments. So be happy when you put together the tree. Oh my God, it's like a rainforest. Oh my God, I put together one tree. All right, now I gotta put this. Now I gotta find all the pieces that connects the river. You know what I'm saying? Like, just get your pieces, put them together, group them together, come back, and just come back to it. Come back to it. Take it one day at a time, and give yourself credit. Yeah, I did that. If you got to take a break and step back sometimes, do that because your mental health matters. Don't stress yourself out. Don't beat yourself up. Don't do that because you need a break and it's okay to take a break. Take a break, but don't give up. Take a break, but come back to it. What we doing? Taking a break, but we ain't giving up. Yeah. All right. All right. And find you a good support system too. If the people that you around, if they're not encouraging you, if they're not motivating you, if they're not inspiring you, if they're like, you know what, I probably don't have the answers, but I could definitely be here if you need to talk. No, I probably don't know what to do, but I might know somebody that do. I could connect you with some people. If you don't have that kind of circle, then you just around people that's stealing pieces from your puzzle. And then you're gonna be looking around for your pieces. You're like, where they at? I could have sworn I just yeah, no. You gotta get them out of here. You gotta get them out of there. And that was something else for me too. Like I just used to didn't want to be alone. Cause I was like my mama only child for like 10 years. So I was always like lonely and bored and stuff like that. And like I think I was, I didn't care, so much if the people that was around me wasn't supportive. It was just like, oh my God, I have friends. Yay. But they wasn't my friends. They wasn't my friends. And I realized that I'm actually better off by myself. I get a lot accomplished when I'm by myself. A whole lot accomplished when I'm by myself. So, excuse me. So, when you have a good support system, and sometimes even if you gotta let them go, just to find some new support systems, some new friends, new people, then that's what you gotta do. But don't force it. Don't do none of that. It's just gonna come to you. It's gonna come naturally. And it also might have some other pieces of your puzzle. Sometimes your puzzle is other people, and they gonna help you. Because you might not have all the answers. You might not have all the pieces. So get you a good support system. I think that's all I have to say right now. Yeah, Dr. Cruz.
That support system gonna really help you out. Like they can make you or break you. We always say the people that you're connected to or that you go to the most are the ones that are gonna dictate or help influence your reality or who you truly are. Um, Hi. Yes, it's been a long time. Thank you. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you. Um, but yeah, like knowing who you're connecting to and knowing that you're pouring into each other in some way, shape, or form, like that's so important. You know, I think another piece that I kind of wanted to bring to the discussion or to the table is the fact that sometimes we're ashamed of our background or our story. You know, it's too triggering, it's too traumatic, it's too nasty, it's too dirty, and we don't want to share or talk about what we're going through or what we've been through because we're afraid that someone is going to judge us or look at us differently and or not want to be connected to us anymore if they truly knew who we once were and how we've grown or how we've changed. I say you never know who your story is going to impact positively. You know, I'm going to speak for me. Sometimes I allow my fear to overpower my faith. And that's something that I'm addressing actively. Similarly to you, you may sometimes think that, your healing journey is too much and some things you can't talk about with certain people or you have to pick and choose what you share because you're afraid of what people might say about you or how they may judge you. But let's be clear that no one can judge you or look at you differently or try to shame you for what you have overcome. Obviously, if it's a part of your story, it's something that you've grown from and have learned from, and you being connected to certain individuals are because you've changed or you've acquired some type of knowledge of self or about the world around you to be able to pour or connect to those individuals spiritually, emotionally, mentally, intellectually, etc. So I just wanted to speak to the people that are struggling with speaking their truth. No, it's not easy. Yes, it's unknown. Yes, intimidating even, but it's your story, and you're better because of it. You're stronger because of it. Sometimes people be like, that's so cliche. I don't want to hear that. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I've experienced. You're right. I don't. No one else does either because you refuse to speak about it. Do you know how healing speaking your truth is? Do you know? We've had many people speak with us or come on this platform. They were afraid too. I don't know about this, y'all, but I'm ready. And they share their story. And at the end of it, they're like, wow, I feel good. I didn't realize how tightly I was holding on to that. I didn't realize that how therapeutic me talking about my story, speaking my truth would be for me. And of course, it's when they're ready. We don't force anyone to come on here. We don't dictate what you share or what you say. But I just want people, whether you do it publicly or privately, speaking your truth and sharing your story, you don't know who that might help. You don't know. Your purpose might be connected to your pain. And it's going to help heal somebody out there. So how dare we try to block or inhibit someone else's healing? What was the purpose of your pain if you don't speak into someone else? So for all those people that, might see this or are currently struggling with their experiences and feeling like, I ain't gonna help nobody. Don't nobody care about what I've been through. Ain't nobody out there going through this. I ain't gonna help nobody. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. So just know you're worthy, you're important, your story matters, and somebody will benefit from the knowledge, the wisdom, the love, the understanding, the compassion, the grace that you now carry because of your story. That's all I have for you. Kai, you ready to?
Yeah, but I have to piggyback off of what you just said. Um, when we first started this, um, I still had a lot of pent up anger, um, animosity, towards people, old friends, and relatives. But I can honestly say that the time that we've been doing this is like therapeutic for me because I look back at like when I tell you we have like topics for like we have probably like 2 years worth of topics, like no exaggeration. We have like 2 years worth of topics in our documents. And when we're choosing what we want to discuss next, sometimes like I find myself looking at some of the things that we have in our document and it's like I don't even want to talk about it no more because I'm over it. Like this is my therapy. This is, me speaking and then going back and watching these lives because we don't record them and just post it. Like we literally go back and watch these lives, and watching my own growth and, from even before I even started my healing journey to now, like it's beautiful. It is fucking beautiful. And I'm proud of myself. You know, I know people may not see everything or may not know everything, but I know for a fact I'm proud of myself. Um, because this, and just like Quintessential Water said, these conversations are healthy, and it's healthy for all of us, for the viewers, for us that's up here speaking our stories, you know. And like Dr. Chris said, you never know who you're helping. I can't tell y'all how many messages, how many DMs I get from people. How many, well, when they did have my number, but mostly I get a lot of messages on social media from people, and they'll be like, oh my God, please don't stop doing this. Oh my God, you're a catalyst for change. You just don't know how your story inspired me. I may not do this, I may not do that, but I'm watching, and I just want to say thank you for sharing your story. So, you know, and if you're not comfortable with sharing your story, and if it's something that you do want us to talk about, hit us up. DM us and be like, I would like to share my story, but I want to stay anonymous. Can you talk about it? We will. We will. We don't have no problem with it. You can stay anonymous. Just send us whatever you want to talk about, and how how you overcome whatever it was that you've overcome. If you want to set up a phone call, and tell us what it is that you've been through, and if you want us to talk about it on your behalf, we will. That's no problem. That's no problem at all. So I think that's something, and I'm sorry, I never talked to Chris about this. This is something that literally just popped up in my head. So if you cool with doing that, wait, you on mute. You're on mute.
I thought you was gonna read my lips, but you already know how I'm
Okay.
about that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, if it's something that y'all want us to share on y'all behalf, a story, anything that y'all went through, send it to us. We'll tell y'all story for y'all. And we'll keep it anonymous. We'll make her come up with a little fake name and everything. So yeah, we'll be your storyteller. Just let us know. But thank y'all so much. Do you have anything else before I do the affirmation?
Just thank y'all, those that are, they watch the lives consistently, or they catch every other one, or they go back on the YouTube and watch them, or they watch the clips on our Facebook pages, or, if we send you individual clips or whatever, and you watch it and you giving feedback and you leaving comments, you're liking, whatever. Thank you. We appreciate you. We value you and your intention to, even the fact that you even want to watch what we're discussing or things that we share on this platform. We're appreciative. So thank you. Please continue. Like Kai said, if there's anything that you would like us to discuss, or you have, specific feedback or requests or concerns or whatever, feel free to reach out to us via social media. We do have our Instagrams. We check every day. We also have our Facebook pages. You can DM us on there. You can also email us at safe to speak 222 at gmail.com. Whichever option, however you want to reach out to us, please feel free to do so. We are very open and willing and receptive to hearing what you have to say and what you would like to share with us. We don't take what we're doing lightly at all. So however we could show up for you in the capacity that we have available to us, we're definitely willing to do that. That's all I had.
So yes, I'm glad you like that idea. So yeah, and if we could just ask you guys that do watch, we do need y'all help to get our videos out in the algorithm. So y'all know the liking, the commenting, sharing, and stuff like that, saving the videos, that does help with the algorithm. So if you enjoy our content, feel free to share the clips, like the clips, comment on it when we post it, even if it's just a heart, a star, anything. Just that would definitely help to get this out in the algorithm. Because, child, we just learning about this little algorithm thing. I know I'm just learning about how it works. So that would definitely help. But thank y'all so much for watching again. So we're gonna do our affirmation. I don't know who this affirmation is by, but it's something that I've heard all my life. And my manager at my other job had said this the other night. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna use that for our live. So it's not where you're from, it's where you're going. Okay? It's not where you from. It's where you going. It don't matter what happened to you in the past. It don't matter where you came from. None of that don't matter because that's just supposed to help you to get to where you're going. And you may not be at your final destination. You may not have your puzzle completed, but you're still putting those pieces together. And that's all that matters. Just keep putting those pieces of your puzzle together and don't ever give up on yourself. Be proud of yourself, congratulate yourself, love yourself, hug yourself, kiss yourself. Yes, I say kiss yourself in a mirror. Okay? Hug yourself, tell yourself that you're proud of yourself. Talk to yourself. Care for yourself, nurture yourself. And everything that you want, how you want somebody else to show up for you, you first have to show up for yourself that way. So thank y'all so much. We love y'all. And Dr. Chris, do you have your words of encouragement before we go?
Let me see. We've been really, really diving deep, and just know that everything that you need to progress, to succeed, to heal, to grow, thrive, flourish, all of the good things, everything that you need to do that is within you already. You just have to believe it. You have to tap into it. And you have to use it to get you where you're trying to go. If you're connected to people that don't believe or are not also using the tools that they have within themselves to progress, heal, thrive, flourish, grow, then it's okay to release them. We always talk about this. Don't feel guilty for wanting to be more. You deserve it. You know how much you've overcome? Look at you. You look good. And you can continue. There's nothing wrong with wanting more and going after it with intention, with focus, with love, with power, with all of these good things. Do it. No excuses. There's been enough excuses to hold you over. Now it's time to put in that work. You got this. We here cheering for you. Do your thing. We'll see you on the other side.
Bye, y'all.